Here's what traditional marketing experts really don't want you to know. The patient acquisition methods that built successful chiropractic practices over the past 30 years are becoming completely obsolete. And by 2027, which is not far from now, the practitioners still relying on location-based marketing will be fighting over the leftover patients that relationship-based practices don't want because it doesn't fit their demographic. I've observed thousands of independent chiropractors cling to outdated patient acquisition strategies like even yellow page advertising, newspaper ads, and chiropractor near me Google optimization, while the smartest practitioners quietly build patient bases, large patient bases, through methods that have nothing to do with geographic proximity or search engine rankings. The shift from location-based discovery to relationship-based referrals is accelerating faster than most practitioners realize. So patients increasingly choose healthcare providers, doctors, based on personal recommendations, online communities, and specialized expertise rather than convenience or proximity or price. So while your competitors fight for local search rankings and pay increasing prices for geographic-based advertising, I'm going to show you 3 relationship acquisition strategies that create patient flows independent of location, search, algorithms, or traditional marketing channels. I'm Dr. Chris Tomshack, and after helping independent chiropractors build sustainable, predictable practices for decades, I can tell you that the future belongs to doctors who understand that patients will travel anywhere for the right expert, but they won't walk across the street for just another chiropractor. So the first breakthrough principle is what I call authority-based attraction. And it completely replaces geographic marketing with expertise positioning that draws patients from unlimited distances based on specialized knowledge that you possess rather than convenient location. Most independent chiropractors still optimize for local search terms and compete within their immediate geographic area, that bubble around their practice, limiting their patient pool to people who happen to live nearby and are actively searching for chiropractic care like today. What I consistently see across practices that dominate their markets is a strategic shift from location-based visibility to expertise-based authority that attracts patients who specifically seek their unique capabilities. So picture this scenario. Location-based practices compete with every other chiropractor within 20 miles or so for patients searching chiropractor near me or back pain. Authority-based practices attract patients who search solutions like chronic migraine specialist, sports performance optimization, or workplace injury prevention expert, and are willing to travel significant distances for the right expertise. Same clinical skills, completely different patient acquisition radius and competition level. And only the authority-based approach creates unlimited market potential. So here's how you apply this same approach. First, develop deep expertise in specific conditions or patient populations that allows you to become the recognized specialist rather than competing as a generalist in your local market. Second, create educational content that demonstrates your specialized knowledge. It proves it. And as a result, attracts patients seeking specific solutions rather than generic chiropractic care or back pain relief. Third, build referral relationships with other specialists who encounter patients needing your expertise, creating patient flows based on professional recommendations rather than geographic searches. This creates what I call expertise magnetism, where patients actively seek you out rather than you competing for their attention in crowded local markets. But authority positioning, that's just the foundation of this strategy. The second strategy is what I call community integration marketing. And it's why some practices build waiting lists through personal relationships, while others struggle with empty appointment slots despite perfect Google rankings. This pattern emerges when smart practitioners understand that future new patient acquisition will depend more on community integration and personal relationships than search engine optimization or paid advertising. In my experience with independent chiropractors who've built thriving practices in most of the states, community-based patient flows consistently outperform digital marketing for creating high high value, loyal patients who in turn refer people just like them to the practice. So picture this scenario. Digital dependent practices, they lose patients when Google changes algorithms, which happens from time to time. You can bet on it. They also lose patients when advertising costs increase or when competitors merely outbid them for keywords, which is happening everywhere. Community integrated practices maintain steady patient flows through personal relationships with local business leaders, with healthcare providers, and with community organizations that generate lots of referrals regardless of digital platform changes, period. Same practice quality, completely different patient acquisition stability, and long-term sustainability. So here's how you apply this same approach. First, identify key community leaders, key community business owners, and key community healthcare providers who regularly encounter people who could benefit from your services. And that's a lot of them. And then develop genuine professional relationships with them without selling them on your services. And then second, become actively involved in community organizations, business groups, and professional associations where you can demonstrate your expertise and in turn build personal connections that generate referrals. Third, create value-added services for local businesses and organizations that position you as a community health resource rather than just another healthcare option or just another chiropractor down the street, just like the last one. This transforms new patient acquisition from transactional to relationship-based referrals that create sustainable, really truly sustainable patient flows independent of marketing budget or digital platform performance. Doesn't that sound interesting? Now, one more. The third strategy amplifies this even further, and the final principle I want to talk about today is called platform-independent patient ecosystems. Platform-independent patient ecosystems. And it's how you create patient acquisition systems that function regardless of which social media platform exists and what Google's algorithm prioritizes or how advertising costs fluctuate like they do. I consistently see practices vulnerable to marketing disruption because they've built patient acquisition systems dependent on specific platforms or advertising methods that can change overnight, like they have. And what I've discovered from working with successful independent chiropractors is that platform independent systems create practice stability that survive technological changes. That survives economic fluctuations and also competitive pressure. So picture this scenario. Platform-dependent practices struggle when Facebook changes its algorithm, when Google increases advertising costs, or new competitors enter their market. Contrast that with platform-independent practices that maintain consistent patient flows through personal relationships, professional networks, and community integration that function regardless of digital platform changes or marketing trends or algorithm changes. Same local market, completely different vulnerability levels, and practice sustainability. So here's your implementation strategy. First, develop multiple patient acquisition channels that don't depend on any single platform, including professional referral networks, community partnerships, and even patient advocacy systems that generate recommendations regardless of digital marketing performance. And then second, create patient experiences that encourage organic word-of-mouth marketing through exceptional outcomes and personal attention that makes patients enthusiastic advocates for your practice. It needs to be highly experiential. Third, build systems within your practice that capture and nurture patient relationships through direct communication methods that you actually control completely, rather than depending on social media platforms or search engines for ongoing patient engagement success. This positions your practice as resilient and sustainable regardless of external changes, while creating patient acquisition momentum that compounds over time, reducing cost of acquisition rather than requiring constant marketing investment to maintain everything. If you're ready to stop depending upon marketing that's becoming less effective every single year and start building instead relationship-based patient acquisition systems that create sustainable practice growth, visit apexlongevity.com. I've developed patient acquisition frameworks that help independent chiropractors like you transition, evolve from traditional marketing dependence to relationship-based systems that in turn generate really consistent patient flow regardless of digital platform changes or local market competition. So thanks for watching. If you found value, and I hope you did, like, follow, share, and please say something kind. I wish for you to have an amazing day and an absolutely amazing life.